He is mighty to save forever, author of salvation. He rose and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave. Shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing for the glory of the risen King. Jesus, shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing for the glory of the risen King. Savior, He can move the mountains. My God is mighty to save. He is mighty to save. For the mountains, your river runs with mercy, and I will open up my heart and let the healer set me free. I'm happy to be in the truth, and I will daily lift my hands, for I will always sing of when you're looking down. I can sing of your love forever. 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 Oh, I feel like that. It's foolishness, I know. When the world is seen alive, they will dance with joy like we're dancing now. I can sing of your love forever. 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 Before death, we lay our crowns at the feet of Jesus. The greatness of your mercy and love at the feet of Jesus. We cry, holy, holy, holy. We cry, holy, holy, holy. We cry, holy, holy, holy is the Lamb. We fall down, we lay our crowns at the feet of Jesus. The greatness of your mercy and love at the feet of Jesus. We cry, holy, holy, holy. We cry, holy, holy, holy. We cry, holy, holy, holy is the Lamb. We fall down, we lay our crown at the feet of Jesus. The greatness of Your mercy and love at the feet of Jesus. We cry, holy, holy, holy. We cry, holy, holy, holy. We cry, holy, holy, holy is the Lamb. From the highest of heights to the depths of the sea, creation's revealing your majesty. From the throes of fall to the fragrance of free, every creature unique in the song and free. All these babies, indescribable, uncontainable. You place the stars in the sky and you know them by name. You are amazing, God. All powerful, untamable, all shall be fall to our knees as we humbly proclaim. You are amazing, God. Let's go every night and go where it should go. Holding heavenly sorrows to play with snow. Who imagined the starting gives source to ignite? Yes, it's healing to bring us the fullness of God. Just and heaven, indescribable, uncontainable. You place the stars in the sky and you know them by name. You are amazing, God. All powerful, untamable, all shall be fall to our knees as we humbly proclaim. You are amazing, God.
Let's give him a hand. Okay, there we go. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Y'all alive? Y'all having sleep? Y'all think y'all having sleep? I have to apologize. I'm in the middle of having a cold, apparently. So, I might be still going up here. So, apparently, I planned on speaking up here when we got up here about the Romans 11. was before I preached that Sunday morning after 4. By the way, y'all are big help. I appreciate every one of you. Y'all help me keep it real. By hollering those things to go and those preaching and banding me and all that good stuff. That was wonderful. It was not in the least bit distracting at all. But I was thinking this week, and I had a couple of things going through my mind. Wednesday, I originally talked about, or was trying to talk about discernment, and we got on fasting, and I stayed on that for a while. But this week I've really been heavy on my heart is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your testimony. Everybody know what a testimony is, right? It's your story. It's your life. It's what you've gone through. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly. It's you. That's what you are. That's your testimony. And there are some people that are ashamed of their testimony. They're ashamed of where they've come from. They're ashamed of what they've been through. And that's nothing to say that there is anything wrong, because there's some things that people go through that they don't want anybody to know about. There's things that I've went through and I've done in my life that in this room right now, there's one person that knows about it. That's you. There's things that you go through that you want to keep bottled up. There's things that you don't want anybody to find out because you're ashamed of what you've done. But I want you to understand that each of us has a story to tell. And it's important for us to tell that story. There's a scripture in John, if you have your Bible, it will be in John chapter 9. Everybody pull up the phone. Find John chapter 9. I've used this scripture in John several different times. Chapter 9. I didn't think I had this already marked on my way. There's John, and there's 1 John, 2 John, 3 John. So to answer your question, yes. John chapter 9 is a story about the blind man that Jesus healed. Jesus, this is the one where he spit the mud, put it in the dude's eyes, and then the guy got healed. So it's a real gross story. So don't anybody think you're going to spit some mud, put it on me anywhere, because I'll probably punch your mouth. Just so you know. Because you're not Jesus. But anyway, Jesus comes up with this blind man and he healed him. This blind man, he'd been blind since birth, and he had all these issues through his life. He'd always been a beggar and always had to beg, borrow, and the screen throws up on him. Attention deficits having a problem with that. But anyways, Jesus walked up on him and he healed him, which is wonderful. Everybody's ecstatic. The parents are happy that their child is able to see. You don't have to be a beggar anymore. They're just excited that God healed their son. It's like our life story. There's times in our lives that our stories are something to be celebrated. There's times where you want to tell everybody, look what I've done. I've done a great job. I've done this. And you want everybody to know about it. And it's a time to celebrate. And then how many of you know that in those times when you're wanting to celebrate, there's always somebody who wants to come along and arrange your parade. There's always somebody who wants to spoil your fun, want to tell you a sob story to get you out of your cloud nine status. And this blind man was no different. The Pharisees decided they were going to catch Jesus. They were going to try to find fault against Jesus. They've been trying for years. And now they think they have got him because they went to the family of this blind man and asked him. He said, basically, they told him, the Pharisees told him, you know what, just tell us that the guy wasn't blind and it was really not a miracle, and we'll deal with this Jesus in our own way. And the parents couldn't say that. They went back and forth. The Pharisees tried to manipulate the situation several different times. They went to the blind man, and they went to the people around that saw the miracle, and they were trying to find somebody to say that this blind man was just a beggar and he really wasn't blind. They were trying to rain on his parade. They were trying to make his testimony mean less than it really did. And they come back and forth with the man, the Pharisees did. Finally, the blind man finally told him, he says, look, I don't know about this Jesus dude. I don't know if he's a sinner or what he is or who's that or whatever. I don't really know much about him, but this is one thing I got to tell you. He says in John chapter 9, whereas I was blind, I now see. He had a testimony to tell. He had a testimony that says that, hey, guess what? I couldn't see and now I do. I don't know what that man has done in the rest of his life. I don't really care, but now I can see. That's what we need to worry about in our testimonies. We've got to be able to tell our life stories. We've got to be able to tell the good. But you've got to also understand there are times when you need to share the bad. Over the last couple of years, I've opened up to y'all and told you stories about things that I've done in my life that I haven't told anybody. Situations that I've gone through, because that's how we learn. We learn from people that have already been through something. If you've never, your parents don't tell you when your parents say you don't do something, it's probably because they've already done it and they learned that it's not a good thing. So you might want to listen to them a little bit more. But your testimony, there's people out there that are striving to be uplifted, to know that somebody can go through what they're going through and make it. It's time that we share our stories. Sharon's got a testimony that she can tell. I bet she got several, but there's people that Sharon can tell that story to. People that have been hurt and are hurting, and she can tell them, look, you can make it through because God is still God, and He can bring you through. There are people that I can reach, and I can tell my testimony, and I can minister to because if you've never been in trouble and never done some of the things I've done, somebody that hasn't experienced being handcuffed and put in the back of a sport car, you can't really reach somebody that's in that position unless you know how it feels. You can't tell somebody God's going to bring you through something if you have never experienced it. The blind man could not have told the Pharisees that he was blind and now he sees unless he was blind to begin with. We have to share our testimonies with people. Our testimonies are a good thing. It's how we learn. It's how we minister to people. But just like the Pharisees, there's always people there to tell you that because of your past, because of your mistakes, because of the things that you've done, you're unworthy to do things for God. The Bible says the devil is like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. The devil wants to destroy you. He knows each and every one of your names. He knows each and every situation you're currently going through. He's putting more coal on the fire. He's trying to get that fire so hot to see how you're going to react. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but since you've been back and forward, you've probably had a few temptations, a few issues, a few things come up to forward. I don't know why you love it so much to make me go through so much. Am I the only one that's been through stuff since we got back? Okay, woo. I was worried for a minute. Woo. We go through things and the devil tries to make us slip up. He keeps wanting to bring it. How many of you have, in the last week, since we've been back and forward, how many of you that left stuff to forward, how many of you have the devil try to bring it back up in your face and try to put it back in your life? How many of that happened? Okay, all right. No, you're not the only one. She sits here. There's two of them. the rest of them are still living holy lives. Unfortunately, I'm not holy like that. I have mistakes and I have issues. But this is how things happen. The devil tries to find the situations that he can trip you up. And you know how you can keep the straight and narrow is when you talk to the people that's gone through what you've gone through and you're going through. They can tell you stories that are uplifting and tell you how they overcame those situations and how those situations turned out to be not as bad as they were when they were going through them. I'm sure the blind man for years sat on the dusty road begging for money and food and thought that this was all he was ever going to amount to. This is all he's ever going to do is just lay here on the side of the road and beg. But because God was gracious enough to send his only begotten Son, that man now has a testimony that has reigned through the ages in the Bible. His story is echoed through the ages. And that's what your story can do. Your story can live on through other people that you minister to. It's really exciting. Brooke and Green have decided they're going to start a little Bible study. I tried to invite myself, and they told me I needed to get from there, basically. Brooke, it was so bad that Green didn't even put it on Twitter's instant message so that nobody would see that she didn't want me to be there. That's right. So anyways, it's all right. It's fine. But here's the thing, and I understand where she's coming from. There are times that when you as a group can get together and talk, that an adult makes a little bit more awkward. You know what's awkward? It's awkward that. But that's what I'm talking about. Y'all share life stories with one another that you can't share, or you think you can't share around an adult because you think that we are going to judge you. Sometimes we do. You're going to go to hell. If you don't get it under the blood, you'll go to hell. I'm just kidding. But this is what we're talking about. Your testimony, sharing stories, sharing experiences is how you grow spiritually. You know, there may be something that Bree's going through right now that Caitlin has already gone through and already battled and already overcame. That's why we have. Did I get it hurt? Okay, good. But your testimonies, there's things that Chris is going through right now as a young up-and-coming minister that I and Pastor Steve went through years ago. There's battles that him and Melissa are battling right now that me and Sharon, Pastor Steve, and Donna had battled years ago. So it's about our testimony that we can share with them and teach them how to overcome certain things. That's the power of your testimony. That's how important your stories are to other people. Sometimes we think that we really, nobody wants to hear our stories because they think we're either one bragging or two lying. That's how we classify our stories. When somebody's telling a story about their life, we either want to classify it as they're bragging because something good happened to them, or they're whining because something bad happened. That's just human nature. That's how it works. Unfortunately, that's how people are. But that's not how the Bible classifies it. Both sides of that coin. When you're on that mountaintop and you're doing good and you've got all these things going on in your life that God is great and you ain't got any battles, that's those times that you can be uplifted. But when you're in the valley and you're battling tooth and nail and you're fighting the devil with all that you have, and when you overcome and you regain that mountaintop, you got stories that you can tell in the Bible. And the Word says that He can use those stories. He wants to use those stories. There's people in this community that I'll never be able to reach. You know why? Because I don't have a story that they can relate to. But guess what? You do. You have a story that they can relate to. You have a situation that they can relate to. You have an ability to minister to someone that nobody else can. There's old saying, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, probably wanted it before. Anybody ever heard that? Anybody ever heard that last week? There's a lot of phrases I say that nobody ever hears before. What's that got to do with price of rice in China? You don't have use whatever vegetable you want to put in there. But anyways, I got all these quirky little sayings. And Sharon will tell me tonight when I go home, I'll say 6 one way, half a dozen another. There's a lot of little phrases I say, and don't even realize I say it. So anyways, but our stories are important to other people. There's people out here dying and going to hell that we could have touched and moved and put them on the straight and narrow if we had told our story when we had the opportunity. God is placing people in your life right now so that you can share your story. So we don't want to be ashamed to tell our stories. We shouldn't be ashamed of our story because it's something that God has brought us through. You know, several, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a young man that decided that he didn't want to heed the words of a wise woman that told him that he needed to quit his junk or he was going to get some serious trouble. He didn't listen very well. And he wound up being arrested, put in jail, sentenced to felony charges, put on 10 years worth of probation, spent 8 months in the county lockup, and all because he wouldn't listen to someone. He wouldn't heed godly counsel. So when your parents tell you, you need to listen a little bit more than you really do, because they've been there, done that. They understand. Somebody locked the church. Hurry, go lock it. But our story, this will be a story that Daniel will be able to tell. You'll never walk outside, so somebody will lock the door behind you. But your stories are important. Your stories are something that you need to tell. That story that I just told you is a story that I can minister to someone that's having trouble with the law or something like that. It's a story that I can relate to someone because I've been there. I know what it's like to talk to your family from a piece of glass in between you and her being on the phone. I understand what it's like to be told when you're going to eat, when you're going to sleep, what you're going to wear, and how you're going to wear it. I understand that. But your stories are so much more than just a story. It's not you bragging or you whining. It's you relating how God has ministered in your life. It is you've heard me say it time and time again that you will never be able to convince me that there is not a God. Because of Sharon's accident, I have proof that there is a God. That's a story. Your stories need to be the same, and you need to have the same unction behind every story that you've ever been through, because that's something that God has brought you through. That is something that God has allowed you to have to minister to one soul, or 2 souls, or several souls. God has allowed you to come through those situations so that you can minister to people. Amen. See the text. So your stories are nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody understand that part? Say, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. Okay, y'all done pretty good with that. She added to it. Hey, I'm proud of you. The 2 of you. Proud of you. Even though you showed me like it, I'm proud of you. No, I'm not coming. I don't want you to feel awkward. I'm not coming. You changed it from Starbucks. I don't want to go. I could drink coffee then. Starbucks, Rick. It's board time. What are they making? They're making Girl Scout cookies. Hey, But that's a great thing. That's something that's awesome. Hey, I'm proud of you. Yes. Why would I not be? I'm so proud of you. I am extremely proud of the two of you. I'm so excited that you are starting the Bible. No, I really am. I'm excited. I'm glad that God has laid it. Hey, we need more kids like y'all. We need more people to take functions and take the horse by the reins and get no ride it. Did y'all know Brandon got kicked off the horse while we were on vacation? Yeah. Yeah. When you say pony, it wasn't pony. It was a pony. It was just high to me. The saddle was just high to me. But anyway, she got thrown from it. It was funny. Now looking back, but it wasn't funny when it happened. Yeah. They tried to run and boost and half was funny. But anyway, yes, that's why I took it. A word clean. Listen, my mother-in-law took me to a farm for the 4th of July. Ohio, y'all understand, Ohio is, you go to Ohio and then you go to a lake. You have to go right or left. You can't go straight. So it's way up there in the north. They don't even know what sweet tea is. Listen, they do. You ask for sweet tea, they bring you a glass of iced tea and say, there's a sweet loaf. Honest to God. But they don't even know what business and gravy is. They need a lot of stuff. They need people like y'all to go teach them. Do they? You need to. They talk about some. Listen, they got stuff called. Anybody ever heard of red eye gravy? It's some nasty stuff. It's coffee and pig fat and something else. It is. That is what it is. It's pig fat and coffee. I tell you something. The first time Sharon showed me this, I had to give it to you. Hold on, listen. I'm gonna tell this last story, and then we're gonna get wrong. Again. Sharon, this is how I messed up more than her half thinking sometimes. Anybody know white rice? Anybody know what white rice is? White rice. You know what rice? That's white. White rice. White rice? White rice. Well, you know what they do? They cook rice. Then they cook sausage meat. Hold on. No. They sit it on side, and then they pour syrup all over it and eat it. Syrup? That is not Jesus! That is a Yankee thing if I've ever seen it. Glory. What else is something they eat up there? Yeah. Well, somebody, hey, have you ever heard chocolate gravy? Her granny makes the best chocolate gravy biscuits I've ever had in my life. But I always thought that was a northern thing too, but other people know about chocolate gravy. I thought that was a Yankee thing. Just went, what else? You ain't never had chocolate? Oh, make some Sunday, we'll eat chocolate gravy biscuits and one day back. Chocolate covered bacon, I don't know about that. I can't have chocolate covered bacon, I got cholesterol in it. I totally lost control. I totally lost control. You bring the biscuits in the shop. Tell them to bring 30 biscuits. You pointed there, go, what? Really? What, you didn't go one? Now, you went 1 3 seconds. Did they go that you went down to You would think she's not like a coward. She is. That girl got a metabolism for 20 days. Don't get nothing. You better be thankful for that high metabolism. You better be thankful for that high metabolism. You have a slow metabolism. You can have a, you need to tell God thanks. How many y'all gonna be on? I'm gonna be on this. Hey, Adrian has a big box. Ever heard my dog a big box? Come here, Adrian. Adrian, come here. Come here, big box. Come here. Two big boxes. That's the coolest thing. I don't know who's out there who had a big box this money. So anyway, we all have a story to tell. Back on the subject. Lexi has a great story of how her metabolism, she can eat everything and not be a pound. I can look at a cheeseburger in a magazine and gain 12. I'm not saying I keep cursing inside of it. The doctor told me I was obesely, no, morbidly obese, which basically means I'm dead and fat. That's what he said. He said I was morbid. He said, you fat, dude. I got on an observation table and went like that. I got on a scale that said 0, 0, 0, get off of me now. So anyway, no, she ain't gonna do it. Everybody's looking. So anyway, y'all want to practice the song we're singing Sunday? Your presence is heaven. We'll end now with practice. Ain't no good. Huh? Okay. Thank you, that's it. Is it on? Is it on? Don't pull the trigger. You're looking at it. Don't pull the trigger. How you know they whistle when they fly by your ears?
That's for a GSD.
Does he put the music in the user or does he bring it in?
It's a user. I'm just a...
Hey, is yours go to you? Hey, I'll go you. Is that the stuff that was on the floor? Is that the stuff that was on the floor today? Oh, you got shot her in the foot. Now listen, I forgot to tell you, 9 o'clock in the morning, we have an outreach here, so if you can wake up early enough. Well, they're doing something in the morning now.
My daddy made me said I gotta be here at 11 because I gotta do.
Okay, be here at 11. I don't know why you're doing it. Okay.
We're doing the purpose. Oh yeah.